What is up, guys? It is Lifted, and in today's video, we got another episode of Cracked. And with the submission 15 wrapping up, it's time to give you the behind the scenes on how we got to those cards and what we ended up submitting, what we didn't. And for these first couple cards, I do crack them out, but they didn't make the cut for the submission. So this here, Jolteon, we did get quite a bit of these back in one of our previous submissions. Maybe it was submission 14 or 13. And this guy just made no sense to me. I thought this was a 10 contender, and it came back like a 5 or a 6 or something. And on closer inspection, one of the corners is pretty dinged. I would have thought I would have seen that, but I cracked it out. I'm going to try to flatten it, and maybe I'll sell it raw to somebody for a binder copy. And this Charizard, really nice hollow bleed and in PSA.8, but the card looks pretty mint. I don't know what I was really thinking here. I kind of wanted to reattempt a 9, but as you see shortly, something tragic happens. And when I go to crack the front and pull the top of the case off, oh, worst case scenario happens. This is not what you want to see. Well, anyway, off screen, I kind of lifted up that corner of the case and pulled the card out. And this one, I think I might sell raw or I might put in a binder. Was a little bit sketchy getting that one out. So, yeah, don't know how well that would have graded if I reattempted. But now we're strategic here. We got a bunch of Beckett 9.5s, kind of weaker 9.5s, and, you know, they won't sell very well in a 9.5, and I'm not really collecting 9.5s. It's either BGS 10 or break it. So I'm going to take these 9.5s, turn them into PSA 10s, and it should kind of make sense to do so because, yeah, it's worth attempting the pristine, but with these 9.5s, the price difference is like not worth it to try to sell a Beckett 9.5. So I'm just going to send it over to PSA because I have a pretty high level of confidence it'll 10. From a Beckett 9.5 to PSA 10. Yeah, whenever I've crossed things from Beckett to PSA, they definitely have been so harsh at Beckett. And yeah, so pretty good so far. And like I said, it's worth your interest to send a 9.5 from Beckett over to PSA for the 10. Pretty easy crossover, and it's worth the value you spend on the next grading fee because it makes up the difference in the value of the slab, and Beckett's kind of hard to sell, to be honest. We got the Empoleon. This was a weak 9.5. Like, this was almost a Beckett 9. And I was a little concerned about this guy. I thought this had a chance at getting a PSA 9. So hopefully... Oh, okay, thank God. And our next 9.5, we got Zorora getting cracked. And you could see it had a 9 subgrade. So yes, these are weaker 9.5s. In one of my previous submissions, the last time I cracked Beckett cards for PSA, they were pretty strong 9.5s, but now we're submitting some of the weaker ones to see if we can get pretty lucky. And yeah, definitely worth your while if you can turn a 9.5 to a PSA 10. And yeah, we're pretty fortunate today. Ooh, another Beckett 9.5. Will it upgrade? And it does. Looks so nice. Honestly, it looks so much clearer through the PSA slab too. All right, and I think this might be one of the last Beckett cards we break today. We already have this in a pristine 10, and I mean, I was trying to sell it as a 9.5, but not a whole lot of luck. And if it gets a PSA 10, maybe I'll keep it for my personal collection for the PSA 10 set I'm collecting. So will serve a purpose as a PSA 10, will serve a purpose as a Beckett 10, but a 9.5 doesn't really have a place in my collection. So we're taking a chance. And yeah, so far the Beckett cards have been pretty easy to break out. And another slab I cracked, previously a Beckett 9.5, upgrading to a PSA 10. All right, and this is kind of what we ended up with in terms of the Beckett cards we broke out. The first cards aren't making the cut, but these definitely are making it. So pretty happy with what we ended up with there. And as we get back to these PSA cards, this is where we got a little risky. So yeah, taking a big chance on a card that might not be worth it here, but just to give us an extra copy when submitting, we do take the chance on it. And not sure which of the two cards ended up getting the 9, but one was a success, one was a failure, so it may have paid off. I'm just not quite sure. I cracked one of these out of a slab already that graded an 8. So hopefully at least one, I sent 2 of these, hopefully one gets a 9. 7. So, damn. All right, well, if this was the one that came out of the slab, not only did it not grade well, but it went down. And just like that last one, we got another pretty low-end slab. We would like this in a PSA 10 for our personal collection, so to give us one more chance while submitting, we do crack another one of these. And like how I said previously, I'm not sure if it paid off. We did upgrade one of our copies to a PSA 10, so not sure if it was this particular card, but if it was, then I guess it worked out. And for this one of these cards was a regrade. I don't know why I cracked such a cheap slab, but it looked fine. I don't know. And I had 2 more copies, so yeah, we got 2 Gardevoirs to end it off here. PSA 10. All right. And now, the card that was graded 4 times. A very strong copy of the card, but I just thought it had more potential than an 8. When I first graded it, it came back a 9. Thought it could get a 10. And in hindsight, after looking back at some of the previous videos, I did start to notice the flaw that was on the back. And, you know, after submitting it this many times, I definitely reached the point where I needed to give up, and I did eventually sell the card. First time it graded a 9, so I thought I could get the 10, cracked it again, and then it was getting 8s. So not great, but smudged up the case and it got an 8. So what's the deal here? So honestly, I thought I saw the flaw in one of the unboxings, or in one, I rewatched one of my videos, and I think I even see the flaw now. It's not like an indent. Well, maybe it is, I'm not sure, but there's some sort of line here across the back. It's not super noticeable, but PSA has remained consistent. And there you have it. So that's how we ended up with the 30 cards we submitted last time. A little bit of behind the scenes action here. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, stick around and subscribe. It's been lifted. I'll catch you next time, and I'm out of here. Peace.